This week on the Digital Coffee, Reddit is joining the audio chat race. LinkedIn says parenting is a job. And on Instagram, you'll soon be able to search for local hashtags. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb, and I have a cup of coffee in my hand. I don't have a cup of coffee in my hand. I have a very empty cup in my hand. But that's because, of course, this is the Digital Coffee. This is the time that we spend together. If this is your first time here, you will not know it is traditional for you to tell me what beverage you are consuming whilst you watch this show. So tell me, is it tea? Is it coffee? Is it something fancy? Let me know. And also, if this is your first time watching, you'll know there's no coffee in my cup because I talk too fast if I drink coffee. So I have to wait until after the show. If you do leave a comment, hopefully, fingers crossed, we had a little bit of a tech thing this morning. If you do leave a comment, I will send you by messenger in about 20 minutes time a copy of the Digital Coffee newspaper, and that's fab. You'll get that. If you're watching on YouTube, I will post a link to the newspaper right at the top of the comments section. So got lots of news for you today. Other things you can comment about. I'd love to know, are you using TikTok? So do you have a TikTok account and you look at it? Or do you have you use TikTok? You produce content for TikTok? I'd love to know, because of course we have a story about that coming up. And if you want to do none of those, just say hello. You'll still get the newspaper. Good morning to Catherine. Always cheerful. Hello. And today it's coffee. Good. Great to know that you have coffee in your cup. Right, I think I have everything ready. Let's have a quick look at the news.
Hello, this is Rob Charles, the voice of Mike on Forever FM on Peter Kay's Car Share. BAFTA award winning, I've got to say, but I've not seen the BAFTA yet. Anyway, you're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Enjoy. I'm on tea. Shh.
We've all heard that having a gap in your CV is a bad thing. You've got to fill those gaps. They tell us that in school. They tell us that in college. I'm sure if there's any CV experts here, they'll agree. But you know what? I always thought that didn't matter on LinkedIn. I thought LinkedIn was more a place where you just shared your professional experience, where you didn't put that time that you were picking apples between college and your first job. That may have been me, just saying. But it seems that things are changing. It seems that maybe I was wrong, because as you probably are aware, because it made the news here in Ireland, LinkedIn have added some new job titles that you can put on your LinkedIn profile to fill those gaps. And those job titles are all about parenting. So now you can say you're a stay-at-home mum, a stay-at-home dad, a stay-at-home parent. And you can also, if you mark yourself as self-employed, you won't need to say who your employer is. Which would have been fun, right? Because you could have put the name of your baby. But there you go. There you go. This is good. I think this is good because people say all the time that parenting is hard work. It's a full-time job, but it's never really acknowledged in the world of work. And I remember back in the day when I worked in film, talking to people that had had experiences with people who'd looked down on them because there were years spent as a stay-at-home mum. So I do think this is important. I am wondering what LinkedIn's motivation for this is, though. Why are they doing this? So number one, are they doing this because they are following the trend? That this is now something that is considered work, like it well should be, on your CV? Or are they doing this because they want to change the world? So are they trying to change the world by adding things? The other week, I didn't talk about it so much, but they added pronouns. So now you can put pronouns on it. So are they wanting to be a company that is looking to change the world? And the third option is, are they doing it for PR? Which actually, it doesn't mean that they're not doing it for one of the other reasons. Of course, if they are changing the world, they're a business. They need to get something out of it. So it is PR. I think it's a wonderful update. I'm really happy that they're doing it. I just always wonder when I hear something on the news, is this really how the company feels? Or is this something they're doing for PR? But actually, having looked at some of the other features that they've added recently, I do think maybe, just maybe, they're the good guys in this situation. Good morning to Marie Fleming. Good morning, Marie, who's also drinking coffee. I'm so jealous of you. Doesn't TikTok. Hello to Joanne. I love TikTok. It's so addictive and so much fun. Joanne, do you make your own TikTok content? I've been holding off. I think I have got like 3 TikToks up, but they were just me messing around. I do enjoy it. That's the problem. I enjoy it a little bit too much. I spend way too much. If I click that TikTok button icon on my phone, I am gone for at least an hour. And I think that is both the wonderful and the scary thing about TikTok when you're a grown up and you're supposed to be running a business.
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
Have you ever wondered if Facebook is still hot on video content, if it still wants you to post your video content there, or, have they moved on? Do they want you to do something else? Well, this isn't a brand new thing, but it's something they launched a while ago and they just started telling people more about how it works. So I thought I'd share it with you. And the thing I'm talking about is testing videos organically for your Facebook page. So what will happen is when you put up a video, or when you go create a studio, you go into split testing and split test a video, and you could put up different versions of your video or different versions of the text that goes alongside your video. And what it will do is it will show that video to a small portion of your audience, and whichever one gets the better results, as defined by you, you tell it what results you're looking for, it will publish the video to your page so that it's available for everyone else to see. Now, when you go and set this up, you get to put in as many video options as you want, as many text options as you want. You set up a time, and this is where it gets interesting, because initially I was like, my own page is too small to test this. But you set up a time that you want to run the test for. And I think the smallest amount of time is 10 minutes and the maximum amount of time is a day. So if you're running a really big business page with many thousands of people on it, you could go for the 10 minutes because that's enough time for them to reach enough people to be able to make a decision on which video is best to get enough data. And they suggest you actually run it for the smallest amount of time you can, because otherwise too many people will see the version that isn't working for the results you want. Of course, if you're a smaller business like me with my, 2,000 and something, maybe 3,000, I really don't know, followers on my page, I'll want to run it for longer, maybe 24 hours. I go for the maximum because the reach, obviously, because there's a lot less people to reach, it's going to be difficult. What can you split test? I'm going to definitely try this the next time I put a video up. So some suggestions that they had were, number one, you can split test the video itself, and you could split test the aspect ratio. So that's whether it's going to be a square video, that slightly vertical video size. I think it's 4:5 that you can put on Facebook and it will play in full size, or a horizontal video like the one that you're watching now. You can put up 3 different versions and see which aspect ratio performs best for you. Or you could put up 3 versions of the same video, but with a different intro, because the first 10 seconds or so of your video are the most important part of your video. If you can get that right, you'll get more viewers watching all the way through. Or you could split test the text for each for your video. So the text that you put alongside it may be with emojis or without emojis, or a longer version of text versus a shorter version of text. I suppose the one thing to mention is, if you try this, that don't try the split testing everything at once. It's split test one of those things, the text, the intro to your video, or the aspect ratio, because that's the only way that you're going to get pure data. Now, the reason I asked you at the beginning was, are Facebook still wanting you to post video content? It looks like yes, they are. Video content is going to continue to be big on Facebook into the future. And by giving us this tool, They're ensuring that we'll be creating video or posting video that is going to be more attractive to those users so that they can keep people on their site for longer. So who's going to give it a go? I'm definitely going to give it a go. I will need to go for that 24-hour time period, but once I've given it a go, I'll let you know how it works out.
This is May King from The FOMO Creator, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Who uses Reddit? Anyone out there? I think, Reddit has been around forever. I'm pretty sure it was there before Facebook. It was one of those tools that I used to call it a social bookmarking tool. Obviously, it's so much more now, but it's outlasted everything else. It's always been there. And if you've been watching this show for a while, you know that one of my 2021 predictions was that Reddit was going to be a big social network in 2021. Now, we haven't seen any of that emerge yet until now. And it looks like they're going to launch their version of audio chat. So their version of Clubhouse or Twitter audio spaces or whatever you want to call it. We know that all the social networks have been jumping on this trend, but now Reddit are too. And why I find this specifically interesting is that they are introducing new features. Firstly, to mention that Reddit will not comment on whether this is true or not. It comes from a source within Reddit, an anonymous source. So we don't know 100% is it true. But that's the first thing to mention. The second thing to mention is it's not going to be like the chat anywhere else. Basically, if you are an admin of a subreddit, so subreddits are a bit like Facebook groups. They're based around specific topics. You can set one up and you would build a community around that topic. If you're an admin, you're the person who's going to run the audio chat. You'll only be able to run the audio chat if enough people within your subreddit have signed up for power-ups. And power-ups would be, it's like a subscription service. You pay, I think, like $4.99 and you'll get access to additional features within Reddit. This hasn't been launched yet. This is something else that's going to happen. Why I think this is different and why I think it will work on Reddit is because we talked about why it would work on Twitter and other social networks, because you've already got your audience there. You've already started building relationships with people. So you don't need to go and start from scratch. On Reddit, it's going to be topic based. So instead of, I know there's a lot of audio spaces at the moment that are just a chat because we haven't really found our feet. We really haven't started segmenting our followers on Twitter yet. But within Reddit, it's already done. So if you are in the, I think I'm in one called like Quirky Science or something like that. If you're in that group, obviously the conversations are going to be related to topics around science. If you're in the cat lovers, if there is a cat lovers one, I need to join it. Obviously the topics are going to be around cats. I think this is interesting from Reddit. They were famous for launching AMA, Ask Me Anything. So that could feed into what these audio chats will be part of. So let's keep an eye on Reddit. Maybe worth having a look, seeing how it works. I'm not suggesting you jump in with your business right now, but just to be aware of how it works and what's it for. Basically, it's like an online forum from the old days, except built on tiny little Facebook groups. Definitely go have a look. It's tricky to use it as a business. You have to be really careful about how you use it, but I think it's definitely worth looking at, not jumping in yet, unless you feel it could be part of your strategy in the future. Catherine says, yes, I read Reddit. It's a rabbit warren too. Yes, much like TikTok, but less guilt. I always feel less guilt with Reddit because I feel like I'm upskilling when I look at Reddit. More so than TikTok, because I'm looking at interesting articles as well as getting the popcorn out and looking at people fighting. It's an interesting network, definitely one worth looking at.
You're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Now, I am sure you have all heard of that thing with the jams. What thing with the jams, Amanda? What thing with the jams could you possibly be talking about? There is like this famous experiment where they had a stall in a shop, and one day they went in and they had like 3 different types of jam you could taste, and if you tasted it, maybe you'd buy it. We've seen these, right? On the next day, they turned up with lots of jams. I don't know how many, but let's just say 20 jams. And they did the same. People could taste test, and whichever one they liked, they could purchase. And on day 1, they got lots of sales. And on day 2, they got less sales, even though they had more flavors. And it's called something like paralysis of choice or choice paralysis. When people are given lots of options, they're less likely to buy. And I think Twitter think that they have been suffering from this because they've just revamped their ads product. Now, not many people use Twitter ads. Well, not many people in comparison to who use Facebook ads, you know? It's like they've never really taken off in the same way. And could it be because it was so confusing? Because apparently they had 22 different types of ads that you could run on Twitter. So when you go there, you're like, oh, what am I supposed to do here? Which sort of ad should I be running for the effect that I want? So what they've done is they've simplified their ad product down to 5 main categories that should make it a lot easier for you to select the sort of ad that you want to run and buy the ad. So they've gone from 22 to 5. Will this work? Well, I think as somebody who runs ads very occasionally, like don't ask me to do it, for clients on Twitter, I would be happier. I would be happier that I can navigate my way around. I would be happier that I know what I'm doing. For myself, you know what? Probably not. Probably not. Still not going to run ads. What about you? Would you run Twitter ads if it was easier to do so? Let me know. Whew, wondering who I should press next. Who will I press? I'll press Carmel.
Hi, I'm Carmel Siri and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
If you dive into that Instagram Reels tab on Instagram, you will find a whole load of content. And you know what? Most of it doesn't come from the people you follow. And I think for us as marketers, this is one of the benefits of Reels. It's one of the places on Instagram where we can really push our content out to more people. We have the opportunity to just reach way beyond our own audience. But it looks like Instagram are going to add a following tab into that Reels feed. So when you go in, probably it's still going to be on the stuff you've never seen before, but you'll be able to select following and just see posts from the people that you're following. Joanne, does this look familiar? Because if you've been on TikTok, this is exactly how it's laid out. You have the main feed and then you have following. I think the upside of this for a business is that if people aren't looking at the feed, because of course you can republish there, or they haven't seen it in your Instagram stories because they're obsessed with Reels, they're more likely to see your Reels. So you've got more chance to reach the people who already follow you, who've already invested in your business. Will this though take away from the viral effect? Will people be spending more time in that following feed rather than in the main feed, meaning that you'll get less traction on the TikToks? No, the Reels that you've put up there. We won't know. I do think that it's a good thing that 1, the user gets to choose the algorithm they want, and 2, that people will that your stuff will get in front of the people who've already signed up, essentially, by following you in the feed. Hello, Michelle. Just going to say hello. Hello. Great to see you. Before I click on, let's go with a bit of Ian.
I'm Ian Anderson-Gray and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
When you live in a small country like Ireland, or even though it's big in comparison to Ireland, the United Kingdom, you have a problem on Instagram with hashtags, because the hashtags are used by so many people around the world that if you do appear in a hashtag feed, the chances are, yes, you'll get more likes, you'll get more engagement, but from people who will never have the opportunity to do business with you. And this is a real struggle, I know, for businesses who are trying to find the right hashtags to attract people in their local area. Well, Instagram may have something in the works that will help us. And I am so excited about this because I've had so many clients come to me with the exact problem. It looks like, now this was spotted by Alessandro. I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try because I've just embarrassed myself, but I'll put a link to his tweet underneath. Now, this isn't live yet. This is something that is on the back end of Instagram if you can hack code and stuff and find out what's going on. It looks like they're going to test this thing where you will, in the search bar, you'll be able to click on a map. And when you click on that map, it will show you hashtags that are being used locally to the location that you spot, which is huge, right? Suddenly, you know you're targeting people in Athy in County Kildare in Ireland, which is where I live. You'll be able to see the popular hashtags in the area and you'll be able to use that, which should boost your discoverability. Also, they're looking at within that map, and I'm thinking this is going to tie into guides on the back of Instagram, you'll be able to see recommended cafes, restaurants, and local businesses. This is such an exciting update. I am just delighted to see it because I was asked this question during the week during a live Q&A that I did. And I can see Kate here is very excited about it too. It will be such a revelation to get this tool. When we get it, if it ever gets outside the testing phase, I'm sure it will, because this is something that will help businesses so much. And it does tie into that Explore feed.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
What do older people do on TikTok? When I say older people, that's often used to mean people who are over 70. I'm talking about older than a teenager, because TikTok wants you to know that there are older people using the TikTok platform now. There are parents, and they even mention grandparents, using TikTok. In fact, some of the most popular hashtags amongst that group of people are #family. 67 billion hashtags for family, #family. Family time, 8 billion views. And parenting has had 4 billion views. Sorry, that's not the number of hashtags used, that's the number of views that posts with these hashtags get. So, looks like people who are older than a teenager actually are using TikTok. Also, those parents are more likely to talk about home appliances, snack products, this one's good, business, cars, and grocery products. So could this mean that now is actually a good time for businesses to start looking at TikTok? I know some are on there already, some were early adopters. But now we know that there are parents on TikTok. If you are a business that targets family and parents, maybe TikTok is a spot for you to focus on in the future. To look at it, decide, could you build a strategy around this that would reach those parents? Because TikTok is a lot of work. You have to create content. You have to create good content. And that's it for the Digital Coffee for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, look, there's Catherine. Great news on Instagram. It's brilliant. Sometimes some don't use geo hashtags, which is vital for the local market. Yeah, this is a problem, right? We go, oh, well, we can hashtag. I think one of them here is like Athy waterways. But who in Athy is typing that in? They're not. They're typing in cat or river or whatever. So you get a very limited amount of people using Athy waterways. And I'm more talking about this for finding people to engage with, as well as adding them to your own tweets. So yes, it is the most exciting news of the week. I probably should have made it the headline, but until it's actually verified that this is happening, then we'll go more in depth to that. All right, that is it for this week. I will be back same bat time, same bat place next week. See you then.